I said something on Facebook today. I said a few things on Facebook today concerning this broadcast because I was very hyped up in doing it, right? Reason why I'm so hyped up in doing this broadcast tonight is because I'm sick and tired of black people telling me they God, that we God, we got God inside of us. We gods, yeah, we gods, right? Me and some brothers was out, and we were passing out, flyers and whatnot, and promoting the reception next Sunday, the 24th. And in doing so, we had a sister come up to us, and she went on and she started to read me about what I put on the front of the card. On the front of the card that has Morgan Freeman on it, "In God We Trust," because those of you who can't figure it out, who haven't figured it out yet, the reason why we use Morgan Freeman's image is from the ﷺ and the Evan Almighty pictures. It was part 1 and part 2 where Morgan Freeman played God, right? And what I said a lot of people didn't understand in that movie was that was a confession by the white man about how God truly looks, about how God truly is or was when he walked the planet Earth. This is why I put this image up. This is a real image. They say they usually tell you the truth in movies, right? And why would they go out, Hollywood, people spend millions of dollars going to making Morgan Freeman God, right? Dressing him in white suits, dressing him modern, right? And then making his disciple or his emissary or his connection on earth a white man twice. That was not knowledge behind it. There was science behind it that black people wasn't even paying attention to, right? Why would they put Morgan Freeman as God? So, we use the image. And at the new image on this card, it says we had to write and put on it, we must connect to the God outside of ourselves in order to connect to the God within ourselves. Now, this sister, she comes up, and she's trying to correct us. She's trying to give us correction about this. She said, "Oh, no, brother, God is not outside of us. He's inside of us. We just got to wake up. We gods, and we just got to wake up and realize that we gods, and that's it." I said, okay. I said, well, you woke up and you said you God, right? You got God in you and whatnot. So, I asked her, well, what are you doing? And she didn't understand what I said. Well, what are you doing to show that you're God? See, because it's one thing to say that you're God and profess that you're God, but then your actions have to show different that you're God. Because we know God as omnipresent, omnipotent, powerful, intelligent, creator, all these things, the attributes we know about God. Then you call yourself God, right, and saying that you are an extension of God or that you got God inside of you already, but then I don't see your works. I don't see you doing anything on the level of God or next to the level or nowhere near the level of God. What I see is the majority of our people following in this society, following the white man. They under the white man. All of these people who know they God, acknowledge that they gods and this, that, and the third, they under the white man. So I find that funny. I find that funny for people to talk about their gods and they're not doing any godly works. They're just following the mentality of the white man. You understand? They're following the mentality of the white man in the society. They can't tell me what it is to be God here. They just saying the word, just professing to be God, but you're not doing anything different from man. Right? If you're saying you God and you're doing just what any regular person does, then what makes you God? Is everybody God? Is everybody really God? You're supposed to be doing things differently. Black people have developed a fundamental belief in God. That's the problem. Instead of a mental connection with God. I said black people developed a fundamental belief in God, which they got from the white man. What do I mean by that? Fundamentally meaning, regularly, or just a standard belief, as a standard belief. Black people accept that there is God or a higher power or that, they are God or they part of God. That's just a standard belief. That's what we refer to as a fundamental belief. In other words, it's basically a belief that everybody has. Everybody fundamentally believes in God. Even the Satanists, even the so-called atheists, they fundamentally believe in God. But nobody has formed a mental connection, except your elite, have formed a mental connection with God. Because what do the people who have a real connection with God do? They set up governments. They set up movements. And they do this to move their people forward. Right? They do this to evolve the thinking of their people. I explained to the sister that God was here first, right? Before we got here. A higher intelligence was here first, right? Now, I agreed with the sister. I said, yes, we are connected to this higher intelligence known as God, right? But for you to say there is no God outside of ourselves is ridiculous. Because if you tell me that we're just it and we're just God and that's it, or we all God and that's it, and there's nothing outside of ourselves, God is in ourselves, then I'm gonna ask you, how was the world made? How was the planet made? Since you're God and there's nobody here but you, how was the planet made? How was the universe structured? How was the solar system lined up? How was the planets made to spin in a certain rotation around the sun? How was all these things done? And then I'm going to ask you, can you create another world or change the condition of your people? See, because that shouldn't be anything for God to do if you're God. If you're saying that there is no God, because that is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Because like I said, if you're going to say that, you got to tell me how all these things got here. And if you can't tell me that, which I never get an answer from anybody, the 5%ers, I never get an answer from the so-called conscious people, because this sister sounded like she was conscious. I'm like, and I was about to ask you sure you conscious or you unconscious? Because you're sitting here telling me that you're God and that we got God and that there's nothing outside of ourselves. Obviously, if God preceded us, the God that made all of this stuff, then obviously there is something outside of ourselves, because we can't do it. Our people can't even get out the condition they in under the white man. So how do you want to sit up here and talk about you God? Now, I did agree with her that we do have God within us as an extension or a manifestation of God. However, God, as I explained to her, is in a state or in a future state, right? And we are in a present state. Now, God exists in the past, in the present, and in the future, omnipresent, omnipotent, right? But the problem is we're supposed to be moving in a succession behind God. In other words, we're supposed to be the representation of God on earth in physical form, in manifested state, not in creative state, in manifested state, meaning from a directly a bloodline descendants, the so-called black man and black woman, y'all supposed to be the direct bloodline descendants of God. So if you're the direct bloodline descendants of God, then you're supposed to be doing godly works. You're supposed to be doing above and beyond what everybody else here on the planet is doing as descendants of God. But it just seems like y'all doing worse. Y'all becoming degenerates. Y'all smoking weed. You tattooing yourself up. You're doing all the degenerate things to your bodies, to yourself, to your minds. You getting drunk, becoming alcohol, all the things that God himself wouldn't do. Right? That y'all doing, but yet y'all claim to be God. You following the ways of this society, but yet you claim to be God. God leads society's ways of thinking. God don't follow degenerate ones. For all the talk that a lot of people do about calling the white man the devil or whatever the case may be, why are you following him? Why are you under him if you God and you supreme? Easy, because you've lost your connection to the true and living God. Yes, you are extensions of God, but God is ahead of us. God is ahead of us, and we're supposed to be making connection with God. God is supposed to be sending intelligence to us if we are tuned in correctly, like we're supposed to be. And God is supposed to be making us gods after his order. God was sending us messages. The whole purpose of sending us messages, or if you are in tune with God, is to make us gods on earth, real gods, after the order of God, to become God-like people, meaning physically, mentally, and soulfully. Mentally, physically, and soulfully, we're supposed to be becoming gods on earth as representation of God. Like I said, the sister had it right. Yes, we do have God within us, but we forget about the God outside of us, the God outside of us that's expanding the universe, that's sending higher intelligence to an elect few or a chosen few. You understand? See, our people get half of the stories right, or half of the accounts right about who God is and what our connection to God is supposed to be. Our people get half of the story right, or half of the account right. I don't like to say story because story denotes that it's something made up. But God's connection to man and woman is supposed to be that of reception or transmission. And with the so-called black man and black woman, it's supposed to be transmission, meaning that God sends intelligence to man and woman so that you can become his representatives on earth as gods, as present-day gods. That's how the connection is supposed to work. Not, oh, we gods, and but we under the white man. We following his system, right? We broke as a joke. Now, I said that our people, they denote power in the society. They've been trained to denote power as having money, currency. Look at the word currency, current, meaning power, the ability to spend, the ability to consume. However, as I said, the true power is to conserve, right? To conserve, not consume, right? Now, I said that our people would not have any monetary problems if we were together collectively, because God, we're being punished mentally, or we're going through a punishmental curse or a punishmental point in our lives because we're not together mentally. I said if our people were together mentally, we wouldn't have monetary problems. We wouldn't have financial problems. But because our people are separate and have an individualistic mindset, which a lot of people in this society feed on based on our ignorance, that's why we're going through financial problems, because we disconnected or we disobeyed the intelligence of God, which was to come together as a people after the order of God, not under God, not in submission to God, but after the order of God in transmission with God, meaning for him to send and for us to receive and follow directions. God is actually instructing our people if we are in tune. God is instructing our people to move forward and represent him on earth as a God race. Right? Now people say, oh, brother, you talking about some mystery God. Who is this mystery God? Who is this spook God, brother, that you talking about? I already hear the conscious and the 5% and all I'm saying that already, those who listen. I already hear the talk. The future God that I'm talking about, the God that I'm speaking about, is the future God. Who is the future God? The future God is supposed to be you if you are in tune with the present self. What do I mean by that? If you are in tune with yourself in all three stages, past, present, and future, then yes, you are the future God. Because God, or connecting to God, is actually supposed to be an alignment with your future self, with your higher self. Your higher self is God. Your future self is God. Right? However, in the future, many of our people don't exist. Many of our people don't mentally make it to becoming gods. So there is no future connection with our people. God is us in higher state, supreme beings. Does not God, they say God is a supreme being. So if God is a supreme being, meaning a supreme person, right, then that means that God, a.k.a. man and woman, are those who made it to a supreme state, those who have moved on in their thoughts, advanced in their way of thinking, turned on their mental capabilities to become that future being or that God. That is a state of transition. That is a state of that's possible by a state of transmission. God is an evolutionary man and woman, mentally evolving. Those are the beings who become God. Not, oh, I'm God, but I'm still going to do the same things I'm doing. I'm going to follow the same principles and practices I'm following. Or I'm a metaphysician and I'm God. That's the fundamental beliefs in God that you have. I'm God now. There's a God in the sky. The white man is God. Those are all fundamental beliefs that you adopted from mankind, from people who don't look like you. You can't call yourself God and follow a religion. or a so-called way of life. You can't call yourself God and follow Islam, because Islam is based on submission. You can't call yourself God and follow Christianity, because that's based on submission. You understand? You know? You can't call yourself a God and move on. You can't call yourself a God and follow Judaism, because that's based on submission. God are those who are truly, those who are truly in tune, right? They are in transmission with God. You understand that? You understand? Those who are truly in tune with God, those who are truly in connection with God, are in transmission with Him, and they are bringing about an evolution. You understand that? These are the people who are truly becoming gods. Our whole point for being here is to become gods. This planet is supposed to be like God's school to our people. You understand that? This planet is supposed to exist as God's school. Everything that we go through in this world, trials, tribulations, is supposed to be God's school. Right? We're supposed to be going to school. This planet, our life is representing school. And we are supposed to be going through all the trials, tribulations, these problems with the other races of people. This is all meant to happen, to produce a mentally strong people. God ordained this. Amen, the true and living God, the omni-being, ordained this in order for our people to advance to a higher level. God ordained this. If God didn't ordain this, then we wouldn't go through what we've been going through. You understand that? We wouldn't be going through what we're going through. All this is preordained to produce smarter people, intelligent people. And many of our people are not evolving. Many of our people are burnt out. Many of our people are falling by the wayside. We deep into this tonight. I'm going to discuss this even deeper. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz, and this is State of Mental Radio. And tonight, we're talking about the very real way how black people really begin to become gods on earth. Because we got a lot of people calling themselves gods, right? And they are doing a disservice to the title God, because they're really not. You understand? Anyone can call themselves God nowadays. Anybody can call themselves God. Anyone can call themselves God nowadays, and it don't mean nothing. Anyone can call themselves God, a supreme being, but what are you doing as supreme? How are you connecting to God mentally? How are you becoming God mentally? It's supposed to be a mental evolution. If I still see our people doing the same things and saying the same things or acting the same way, your mentality hasn't changed, then there's no connection to God. You're definitely not God. You are degenerating. You are not regenerating or becoming greater mentally. That means there's a stop point. I said that God deals with groups of people, not individuals. That's why you always see God talking to covenants and groups of people according to the biblical story. That's why you always see great men who led movements, who mention God's name, right? These men, they set up here and they built movements, groups, right? Covenants. You understand? They built this because God deals with collective groups. So if you're individually saying that you're a God, right, then that's not possible. God deals with collectives, groups, men and women, collectively. Why? Because God sends His transmission, you understand, for those who are in tune to an elect few. Notice, transmit, elect, all dealing with reception, right? Dealing with mental current. That's why in the state of mental, our flag is the current symbol, right? Meaning or denoting power. You understand that? Our flag is denoting power, not anything that's representing death. Constant power, right? Because God is supposed to represent constant and continuous power. If God is representing constant and continuous power, how does God represent that? By way of thoughts, advanced thoughts, higher thoughts. So if God is representing continuous power by way of higher thoughts, then we're supposed to be changing our minds as well, advancing in our level of intelligence. As I said, if our people are still carrying these old teachings, these old doctrines, black power, black nationalism, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Moorish science, all these things, that does not denote a people who know God. That is a people who are in darkness about who God is. And they definitely can't be God. Because God would not share the same doctrines as man. You can't say I'm a Muslim or I follow Islam or I self-Lord master, but yet the Arabs carry your acronym, they carry your Islam as well. They're using the same word. You can't share a religion with people. You can't share a teaching with people. You can't share culture with other people. God is supposed to have, or people who are developing into God are supposed to have their own way of thinking, their own advanced level of thinking that's not shared by man. If you sharing Christianity with because the sister says to me, she goes into the whole conscious thing and tells me about how we God decide. Then she start talking about Jesus Christ. I said, you a little bit of consciousness, you a little bit of Christian, you a little bit of this. God don't share their thinking or their teaching would not be the same or would not mirror the same teachings as man. Right? It would not mirror the same teachings as man. They wouldn't mirror it, right? They would be different. God's teachings to his people would be different from that of man. It would not mirror religion. That's why we have a lot of problems with people and what I'm teaching, because our teaching doesn't mirror anything. They can't judge or break down the teaching of mentellect, which is God's teaching in this day and time to his elect, those who can hear the word and hear the message, who can hear the reception. The people, when they hear this knowledge, they know that it's higher than that which is out here today. They can't pick it up. So what do people do? They discard it. They toss it to the side, those who are not in tune. They say, you've been making up stuff. He phony, he a fraud. Why? Because it didn't come from the white man, right? It didn't come from him. And I told you before, our people have a fundamental belief in God, not a mental connection. A fundamental connection or belief, not a mental connection. Because if our people had a mental connection, our people wouldn't be in the condition they're in right now. Our people are in the condition they're in because they are not mentally connected to God. So therefore they cannot be God. A majority of our people are empty people in darkness, following after the order of the white man. Yet they still can't figure it out. They can scream to the top of their lungs, black power, black intelligence, black this, black that. But like I said, it denotes the people who are in darkness. When you scream black this and black that, it doesn't denote power. It denotes the people in darkness, in ignorance. Because you could always sit up here and you could find confusion amongst the black race. I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm an Israelite, I'm a Moor, I'm a whatever, a Buddhist, I'm whatever. You don't find that confusion amongst the Jews. You don't find that confusion amongst the Catholics. You don't find that confusion amongst them. Black people spread out amongst all these beliefs. And God only deals with one stream of intelligence. God don't deal with all these other things. God is not dealing with all these other things. God deals with a steady stream of intelligence to an elect people. That's the true power of God. That's the true intelligence of God coming to man to transform woman and man into gods. Because God is constantly looking to erect those who are in his image and after his likeness, to erect them into that, into that stature. Because if a people are not in tune with God mentally, then you cannot understand or receive his intelligence. Because if God is dealing with on high thoughts, if God is dealing with on high intelligence, then of course God is going to send or look to raise the mentality of a people so that you can hear or receive his thoughts. A person with a sub-mental way of thinking like King Noble, this clown who comes in the chat room like a demon that he is, looking for attention, talking about my private parts. I think you sweet, King Noble. I just had to say that. I think I think it's something really wrong with you. I don't even think you a homosexual. I just think something wrong with you. You really off. It's something wrong with you. Everybody know you demented and you keep making a clown out of yourself. It's sad. But God's intelligence will bring that out in people. It will set people talking madness. Here's a man don't know me from nowhere, and he comes in my chat room and attacks me. There's something wrong with you, but that's God's intelligence. It will bring out the demented people. It will bring out the demonic people, the demented ones. The people here, you're supposed to be a leader of an organization. You an embarrassment. This is the best that the so-called black race can produce. King Nobles. There's nothing noble about you. You're actually sad. You're a sad excuse for a person. And you are a waste of semen. I just had to say that. I didn't mean to go off on a little tangent about that, but it's just sad. That's all I'm going to say. You understand? That's all I'm going to say. People will come out here slander you, and they'll put energy into this, and it's sad. They'll come in here, and like I said, here we're trying to make a connection here. So I said I wouldn't really put a lot of energy into these people because it's clear that they're demented in their way of thinking. Right? It's clear that they're demented in their way of thinking, and it's so sad that they have to do this to get attention for dying beliefs. Mankind's belief systems are dying. God's intelligence is finally making its way back to the planet, and it's going to make it to the right people. And as I said, it's making it to the right people to resurrect them as gods and goddesses in real time, in present day time. It's going to make a lot of people come out of their demented mindset. You know what it's like? It's like, let's say the smart kids are over here, and we all understand something, but there's always a few dumb kids who don't get it. Now, the dumb kids who don't get it, what do? They get mad and they want to attack or bully or try to, start something with the smart kids just because they dumb and they don't get it because there's no connection with them. That's what this is. When you're King Nobles and all these other people, I'm waiting for the other Negro to come in here, King, whatever his name is, Great Muslim, and all these other clowns to come in here because they ain't got nothing else better to do. So they sit around here waiting for me to broadcast. That's sad. That's truly sad. All these cartoon characters. But as we are moving forward, we're going to get this. We're going to get this. As the reception becomes stronger here, that reception, the whole point of the reception is to raise a God race on earth. All we have to do is pay attention. All we have to do is reject all the old ways. I said I would tell our people in here how to start the process of becoming gods or supreme beings. The way to start it is by rejecting the old ways. You understand? The best way to start the process is by rejecting all the old man-made ways. Reject the ways of religion. Reject the so-called cultures. Reject all the old ways of the last millennium. All right? Because those teachings are to an end. And you got a lot of people trying to revive them because they're trying to start up man-made movements. They're not dealing with God's intelligence. They're trying to start up man-made movements to keep you from advancing and evolving. See, when you open your mind to receive the intelligence of God, then you will start to become God. I'm going to say it again. When you open your mind to receive the intelligence of God, then you will start to become gods on earth. You will be the physical manifestation or the representation of God on earth, man and woman. You understand? You will become that. But as long as you are sitting up here, as long as you are sitting up here and you are listening to man, right? As long as you're sitting up here and you're listening to man, and you are trying to follow after the mindset of man, right? long as you're following behind the mindset of man, you're not going to evolve into God. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Man will come and he'll try to throw off. Like I said, man will come and try to throw off your connection just because he's not becoming God. He's not advancing. Don't think everybody in dark or brown skin is going to become or rise to the level of being gods. I want you to take a look. And I said I was going to do this at one time. Take a look at some of these people who chastise me. You can see they losing their minds, right? A lot of our people are not going to rise to that level. As I said, God's intelligence coming on the earth, when I said a couple of nights ago, it's going to send a lot of people crazy, and it's going to raise the mentality of a lot of people, right? It's going to raise the mentality of a lot of people, you know? It's going to raise the mentality of people till they start becoming God. Real mental capabilities are going to start to come. Those of you who are in tune know what I'm talking about. Your telepathy is coming. Your clairvoyance is coming. Your psychometry, all the things that the so-called paranormal science people talk about, it's supposed to come to the so-called black man and black woman first. It's supposed to be coming to you first and foremost, right? That is, those people who have that ability are the people who are starting to connect to God mentally by way of logic. You understand? By way of logic, right? These are the people who are connecting with God. These are the people who dumped out all the old ways of thinking. Notice when you see the white man, right, and they talking about paranormal things and mental capabilities and clairvoyance and things like that, 9 times out of 10, they abandon all the old ways of Christianity, Islam, and all this other stuff, but they don't have a fundamental belief in God anymore. That's because this is something that we were supposed to be doing. We were supposed to be past that. In the year 2000, that was supposed to put an end to all of the Islam, the Christianity, the Judaism, all that stuff in the minds of black people. We were supposed to go from being submissive people to transmissive people. We were supposed to make that evolutionary jump, that mental evolutionary jump. But many of our people have not done it. Why? Because you got demons like this, your King Nobles and the rest of these people that's keeping these old movements going. You got people like this that's trying to keep people minds in a revolutionary state. What do they always talk about? Black revolution. What does that really mean? What does black revolution really mean? Black revolution is what? A people moving in a circle in darkness, right? Doing the same things over and over and over again. Because it don't mean black takeover. It don't mean black people rising up and taking over anything, because if that's what black revolution meant, and as much as you hear these Negroes screaming about black revolution, black power, how come there's no black power in black revolution? How come there's no black revolution? How come these Negroes ain't rise up for the 40 or 50 years they've been talking? How come they ain't rise up and take over nothing? Because that's not what it means. It's a bunch of people who want to keep you in a submental state. Don't think it's just the white man. It's not just him. You got a lot of black submentals. You got a lot of black demented people. And they're going to come out of the woodwork. As I keep going, as our radio broadcasts are getting bigger, as our classes, our receptions are getting bigger, you're going to see these demons come out of the woodwork all over the place. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. It's the same, like I said, the funny thing, just I'm looking on the chat room for a second. King Noble keeps slandering me. He's trying. Now, this is sad. He's trying to promote his broadcast. He said Nubian has a small, you know what? That's why he hates black girls. His sex cult. We're gonna get this nigga. Stay tuned. King Noble's black rulership supremacy. You done set up here. You got to use my name, but you know what? That tells me my name is becoming popular because you got to make a show about me to boost your ratings. You are sad and sick. I don't even know you. This nigga's he's crazy. That nigga done lost his mind. He don't even know me. So what, King Noble, what are you going to do? You going to make up 2 hours or an hour worth of stuff on me? You just going to come out the air and just make up stuff on me? You don't even know me. I don't even know you. You searching around, you going to do a whole show on the size of my private area? Something's wrong with you. Like I said, when God's intelligence comes on the earth, sends people crazy, but it will raise up a higher race of advanced people. It will raise them up. Drop out all the old things. Open up for the new. Accept God as Amen, the omnipresent, the omnimental. Clear your minds out and become an omnimental and omnipresent people, omnipotent people, people who have a higher intelligence, people who look beyond these things. Don't give your attention to people like this. See, because the whole point of them existing is to keep you in a submental state, to keep you in the basement. They no different than the producers of Jerry Springer, right? The producers of these conscious things where you got simple-minded Negroes going back and forth at each other, right? They and showing all kinds of lewd sex acts and talking about sex. That proves that they got the mentality of the beast. That proves it. And they talk about the white man. That's what kills it. They kill me. They talk about the white man being the devil, but look at what the black man is doing. King Noble. He's sitting up here disrespecting another black man who did nothing to him. But you talk about the white man's the devil. Ain't no white man here disrespecting me. Ain't no white man here trying to slander me. Ain't no white man here trying to do a radio show and tear down my name to boost up his name. But you're supposed to be a so-called black man about black power, right? But you're going to sit up here and spend time trying to chastise, tear me down. Don't know me from nowhere. Never met you. Don't care about you. Don't listen to your radio show. You tried to be my friend on Facebook, and I rejected you several times because you look like something wrong with you. That nasty hair on your head, you living in abandoned buildings, you posting up pictures of girls butt naked on your site. It's something wrong with you. There is something really wrong with you. You got federal agents coming to your house in that abandoned building. You going around the food pantries begging for food, you and your kids. But you sitting up here trying to do radio broadcasts on me. There's something wrong with you. You need to get your own house in order, King Noble. There's something wrong with you. I'm sad that I had to even give 5 minutes to you. But it's sad but it's a beautiful thing too. Because when you raise in the minds of the people, like I said, the demented ones are going to come out. See, when everybody loves you and loves what you're saying and don't give you no problem, that means that your teaching is not potent and powerful. Right? When everybody loves your teaching, that means, and when everybody, like the same thing, when people are embracing Islam, when all these people, millions of people embrace Islam, when millions of people embrace Christianity, when millions of people embrace Judaism or whatever, that shows you that these teachings are weak. Buddhism, black power, black this, Moorish that, it shows you that the teachings are weak. Because that many people embracing something, you understand, anything over a couple of 100,000 that's embracing something, that means that the teaching had to be watered down. Because it's not that many people who are willing to raise the bar. It's not that many people that's looking to raise the bar. You understand? It's just not that many people. The majority of the people, like I said, contrary to what they try to promote, the majority of the people want to lower the bar. They want to keep it low so that they can have a reason. So they can have a reason to sit up here and listen to nonsense. Because I said God is in connection or supposed to be in connection with man to raise man and woman to be gods. That's what your whole purpose here is, to evolve mentally, to be raised into gods, to clear your minds out, to open your mind and receive God's intelligence. And we're supposed to be definitely receiving it in this day and time. The reception is getting stronger. The white man is electing. Show you how strong the reception is getting. The white man is electing black presidents. Next pope they talking about might be a black man. Now, you know, sure there's a plan behind it, but it inspired him to put the black man. He's putting up images of black man as God. Morgan Freeman. What's that about? Are they confessing something? Telling our people where they should be in the world, how you should be looking at yourself? But then you got these people who are backwards in their mentality. They're degenerating. Mark my words, people, just as you have people who are rising to the level of supreme being, who are going to that level of starting the evolution, you're going to have people who are degenerating. Black people right next to you. Black people right next to you. Black people sitting up here on medication. Black people who haven't been diagnosed for bipolar disorder. Black people who clearly got a look of insanity in their eyes. Who are not connecting with God. Who are off mentally. Who are saying and doing all kinds of madness. Right? But God, that, like I said, in your Revelation, when it talks about the elect, those are people who are becoming, in the book of Revelation, those people are being made gods on earth. Right? Those people are the ones who are being made gods on earth. Why? Because God is always seeking to have someone in every realm inherit his power. I'm going to say it again. God is always seeking to have someone in every realm represent him, inherit his power. And who is supposed to be the first ones inheriting God's power on earth? Your so-called black race, the mentally dead. Your dead almond beings who believe they're human, who believe they're of the black race. And who's the ones leading the dead today? Your ones who screaming that we black people, black power. Those are the dead. Those are the ones who are the dawn of the living dead. Right? Those are the dawns of the living dead. These are the ones that keep us going in circles. Right? You ask yourself, what is the point of these people? What is the point of these people forming movements and organizations? Right? Because it's just a bunch of people. Like I said, crabs in the barrel. Willie Lynch. People, they you know why these people know that stuff so much, these man-made things and ideas they come up with? Because it's in them. The same things that people like this guy in my chat room, King Noble, those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just taking a minute from him. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this guy King Noble, the Uguru master, whatever the hell Uguru is, right? He's sitting around here, like I said, talking about me having a sex cult, but it's well known that you have a sex cult. Everything out your mouth is about a sexual this and sexual that. You got girls posted up butt naked on your thing, but I got a sex cult, right? You talking about the size of my penis, there's something wrong with you, right? That is a person who's been punished mentally. I'm not even mad at you. I don't get mad at people like this because I know they've been punished mentally. The mark of the beast is on these people. That's why they look the way they look. That's why they act the way they act. They say the things they say. Because there is no light in these people. There is no intelligence from God in these people. So more than anything, King Noble, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for Great Muslim and all these people. Babe Truth. I feel sorry for all of y'all. Because there's no light of intelligence in you. There's no light from Amen in you. Y'all mentally dead. Look at these people. Listen to them when they do YouTube shows and talk about me or say things about me. They eyes shifting all over the place. They got red things all over their face to distort their face. There's something wrong with these people. They off. But as I said, as God's reception is coming to the planet, you're going to see people come out of the woodwork like this. Best thing I tell people, stay away from these people. They're off. They're off mentally. They don't want to see our people go through a state of evolution mentally. We're not going to find God's connection in the church. We're not going to become gods in the church. We're not going to become gods in Islam. You understand? We're not going to raise to gods in any of these religious things or any of these conscious things. We're not going to raise to that. If it's what it's going to do is lower us beneath God. It's going to turn us into degenerate people. That's what it's going to do. And it's done that. Is it not a bunch of degeneracy in the church? Isn't it? And that's what happens when you let everybody in. Those places are not a breeding ground for God and his intelligence. Those places that we go to in religion, in the church, in the mosque, and all these places, those are not breeding grounds to raise gods. It's not a breeding ground in the once so-called conscious community where they were supposed to be raising gods and talking about, yeah, our children, our babies going to be the new gods and stuff like that. No, that's not a breeding ground. When you got people coming there cursing at the top of their lungs and talking about their private parts and things like that and this, that, and the third, it's not a breeding ground for gods anymore. It's not a healthy environment to raise the minds of a children and a people who are supposed to be following the order of God. That's your purpose here. Not to get up here and do Jerry Springer moments and curse people out. You understand? Because you lower the reception, you lower the minds of the people so that they can't get the reception of God. Mentally, these people are demented, and it's in them to try to lower the reception of the people, your so-called black people, those who are in darkness, who are supposed to be connected to God and becoming God. I said black people don't really want to follow God, and I said this on Facebook. Now it's being made to look desirable to throw God under the bus. Amen. The true and living God. Throw God under the bus because black people, they don't really want to follow God. Because the whole point of following God is to become God. God is supposed to be sending us instructions. And if those of our people who are actually paying attention, you understand? For those of our people who are trying to follow God, who are really trying to follow God, right? They would know the whole purpose of following God is to become like God, right? That's the point. To become the successors of God on earth. That's what we're supposed to be becoming as so-called black people. As we're coming out of the darkness, we're supposed to be becoming gods on earth by following the intelligence of God. But many of our people, like I said, when you accept the fundamental beliefs and philosophies of man, then you can't connect to the intelligence of God. Once you become a metaphysician, once you become a Muslim, a Christian, an Israelite, all these things, a Moor, whatever you calling yourself, once you fall into these earthbound things, these earthbound submental mindsets, then you can't connect to the intelligence of God, because God's intelligence is above all of that. God's intelligence is above all that, and it's supposed to be raising us above that. You understand that? It's supposed to be raising us, and it's open right now. The frequency is coming through so strong. Those of us who are in tune, they feel it. When they watching me teaching in the receptions every month, the brothers and sisters, they can't deny the energy that's going through there. We tapped in. We're tapping in even stronger. I said black people don't really want to. The reason why black people are throwing God under the bus and the whole reality, they saying God is a concept right now, and they throwing God under the bus. The reason why they doing that is because in real time, God is supposed to represent a guide to becoming like God. God is supposed to represent one who is sending instruction or direction to become God. Right? If you are in tune mentally, if these images are being generated into your head by way of higher intelligence, by the way of knowledge of mental life, if these images are being generated into your head, you start thinking on a certain level, then you're going to start to become God, and you're going to come toward God, people who are becoming gods as well. You're going to become part of a community, part of a movement, part of a state of people who are becoming God, mentally and physically, advancing. It has just begun. Us becoming gods again, or getting back in tune with God, started in the new millennium, in the 21st century. Why I say it started in the 21st century? Why? Because as it heightened, when the new millennium came in, when 100 years done passed out, from 1900 to 2000, 10 decades passed out, that was supposed to be the death of all these movements that came in the last millennium. That was supposed to be the death of all those movements that came in the last millennium that was supposed to be ushering in this new intelligence of God, ushering in the Son of Man, the real Son of Man, not Jesus Christ, right? The real Son of Man, the one who was receiving God's intelligence on earth. That is the Son of Man, right? That was ushering that in. The end of all of those things, when we kept talking about the end of the world, the end of the world, the end of the world, that was talking about the end of all those ways and thinking from the past world, all the information, all that was coming to an end. And we were supposed to start reception in the year 2000. And it started with certain people. Now we're 13 years in, so it's heightened now, those of us who are in tune. But I told you it would cause a separation. I always said that. People, when I said it would cause a separation, and those who are evolving into a God race, into an almond race of people, next to the humans who are moving in a circle, those are our people who are breaking out of the circle and moving forward, who have cleared their minds out. The people who are still caught in the circle, they're going to become jealous. They're going to become angry. They're going to become envious, and they're going to do stupid things like what you see these people come in the chat room and do and say. Don't know me from nowhere, won't challenge me, won't come to me, won't call me up, won't say nothing to me. At least come in here and ask the question. They ain't going to do that. They'll come in here and slander. Don't know me, won't say anything, because these people are demented just to promote their broadcast. So now, like I said, you on that same vibration as Jerry Springer. You ain't no different than that white man, Jerry Springer. You trying to make you building your show around the whole Jerry Springer vibe. Let me slander this guy Newbin, who I don't know, never met, but I don't like him because people listening to him and they not listening to me. Nobody listening to my radio show. I got a bunch of idiots listening to my show. Anybody would listen to that, like I said. So let me tear him down. But yet you're supposed to be a black man. The white man's the devil, right? Really? Really. Don't bother Self Fluid asking him to build. I don't want to talk to him about nothing. There's nothing to talk about. I don't want to have anything to do with this person. He just mad like any scorned woman. He mad because a real man don't want to have nothing to do with him. He's still a little boy. I don't talk to little boys. I converse with other men about business or real knowledge, real intelligence. If we're going to share something, to speak about something, I converse with men. I don't converse with little boys, all right, who ain't got enough sense to comb their head or cut their goddamn head with dead hair, nasty, dead, matted hair growing off of their head. You going to sit up here and listen to anything or tell you going to seriously sit up here and tell me to have a conversation with this nigga? Are you serious? He need to have a conversation with the G building, the psychiatric ward. The white man got a good, nice leather soft couch waiting for him, or a padded room with some Zoloft or whatever the hell that nigga on. That's what's waiting for. That's who he need to have a conversation with. Want to have no conversation? I'm not talking to nobody. It's nothing to talk about. He has no questions for me. He can't even begin to ask me anything. He don't have the intelligence to ask me nothing. That's why he got to come in the chat room and post all kind of stupidity. You understand? All kind of things, because it's meant to throw y'all off. It's not even about me. It's meant to throw y'all off. God's reception is getting stronger here. The true and living God. His reception is coming back in order to move us forward. Who is the true and living God? Amen. Amen. A-H-M-E-N. Amen. That's the true name of God. It's been hidden in your prayers by the white man, by the Masons, by all these people. But the true name of God, the true name of power is Amen. And he is sending reception to a new congregation, a new movement in this day and time. Those who are mentally in tune, state of mental. That's the new congregation of God that's moving after the order of God. Amen. That's what we bringing up. That's what we bringing back. See, because the problem with our people is not monetary. It's not we can't come together. We ain't going to never be able to come together if we're not together mentally. And if we're not together mentally, then we can't begin to solve our problems financially, whatever the case may be. Practically, our evolution will come when we come back in tune with God and start becoming God. I said our people don't want to come in tune with God because our black people don't want the responsibility of being gods on the earth. We don't want the responsibility of being gods on earth. We want to keep moving in circles. You understand that? We want to keep moving in circles. But the circle is stopping. We'll be right back. Your powers that be, your elite, your Illuminati and all these people, they've been operating as God's key men on earth. They've been operating as gods on earth. Your Illuminati, your so-called secret society, they have become gods on earth. Why do I say that? Because they control your lives. They control the world. They control the monetary system. They become gods on earth. They control what you think. They control your religions. They control everything that you do in life. So they've become virtually gods on earth. Now the black man sitting around here talking about he God, but yet you following these people. These people virtually control everything you do on earth. You understand? They control the money you have in your pocket. They control what food you'll be eating, what clothes you'll be wearing. You understand? They control what you think. When the black man says, I'm doing me, you doing them. There ain't no you. If the black man, the so-called black man, was really in his right mind and he was really doing him, that means he'd be doing God. He'd be God, or the black man would be God. You understand? You wouldn't be doing what mankind is doing. You wouldn't be following these people. You understand? But as I said, your people who are in tune with God, your secret society, you keep trying to figure out what their power is, who they in tune with. You know, you so interested in what they read and what they doing, their little ceremonies and things like that. You so interested, they tuning into God every day. They don't believe what you believe. They don't follow what you follow. They don't read secret society books. They're not following Islam. They're not following Christianity. They're not following Judaism. They're not following. They don't care about no Moorish science. So these people are in power, and you talking about they follow Satan. Right? No, they follow God. You follow Satan. What do I mean by that? They follow God and you follow them. Right? They following God. They're in tune with God and you're following them. You think like they think. You follow the same religious beliefs. You care about the same things they care about. You want to be down with them. You call you're nothing but the black version of the white man, the majority of our people. They follow God and you follow the devil or Satan or the lived ones, the created ones. They follow the true God as artificial beings, created ones, and you follow them as people who were once natural, who are now not natural. You are people in darkness following a people or artificial people who are now in the light. They're following the intelligence of God. Those are the people in light. That's why they're able to control the world and control you. They work off of your ignorance. Yes, the Illuminati does follow Amen. Yes, they do. Jermaine Parker, yeah, brother, they do. They follow Amen. They don't follow no Satan. They're Satan. They represent Satan. They represent the sacred 10. There's no Satan. They follow Amen. You're the people who are not tuned in with God. You're tuned in with them through their gods. You're tuned into their Allahs and their Jesus and their Jehovah and their Yahwehs and all these fake gods they created for y'all to follow. Y'all tuned into their metaphysic nonsense and their pseudo-intellectual science, and they do all this to distract you while they're following God as Amen. You understand that? I told you the symbol that they formed, the Cornutu hand symbol that you call the devil's horn symbol, or the horn-held devil symbol with the two fingers down and the middle fingers down and two fingers up, that's supposed to represent a crown of Amen. That's the crown of Amen that they're forming. That has nothing to do with any devil or any Satan. These people follow Amen. They're in tune with God. While they got you following Black Power, Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, Islam, Christianity, all of this, they got you following that. Yet you have no power from following these things. Go figure. You black men and black women talking about metaphysics. Yet all you doing is repeating something the white man said. But he don't believe in metaphysics. He don't believe in none of that stuff. He's in tune with God. He knows God exists. Y'all just believe in God. You have a fundamental belief. Now you don't even really have that no more. Now y'all sitting up here and he got you saying that there is no God, or that there is no true God, there is no supreme being, there is no most high, we gods. They got you to foolishly think that and believe that. Now I'm not even going to say think that, believe it. You believe now. You understand? You say, why do they do so many wicked deeds? Because it's in their nature to do wicked deeds. It's in their nature. It's in their nature to do that. What do you consider wicked? What do you consider wicked? Because they don't do nothing for black people? Because they use you? Because they've abused you? Notice the word, in the word abuse, you see the word use, right? Because they were put here to be used. God put the human race here to be used, utilized. And the fact that the black man and black woman fell out of power, you fell out of your natural seat of power, you fell right into the lap of people who would abuse you. It's in their nature to abuse, to use you, just as you use and abuse people yourself. You understand? Right? Abuse is really abnormal use. You understand? It's abnormal use. Y'all been abnormally used, and you have a problem with that. Why? Because y'all ran after the order of these people. You expected them to do for you. You didn't look to God. You looked to them. So now what they do appears to be wicked when they're actually living out their true nature. Their true nature is not to be for you or to help you. That's in their nature. Their nature, their mindset and their focus is on God all the time. Why do you think they set up all these religions for you to follow? So what they're doing is they're setting up the lower state of intelligence for you to follow. So if they're able to set up a lower state or a lower level of things for you to believe in and follow, be it Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, all these religions and these things that you follow, obviously they have access to a higher state. If they have access to a higher state, then what does that tell you? They're in tune. Right? They're in tune. See, your understanding of God is different. It's not real. You think that God deals with good and evil. God don't deal with good and evil. God deals with necessity. You understand? You know, God don't deal with good and evil. God deals with necessity. You understand? God deals with necessity all the time. That's why he utilizes the white man. Because the white man will do, or that ones, the elite, have taken an oath to follow the intelligence of God. They will follow the natural order of God. As far as they're concerned, they will keep law and order on earth. They will keep the structure. I told you that. They took an oath to keep the structure and stay together. Govern under the watchful eye of God, as they say. Doesn't say how they have to govern. Doesn't say that they have to be nice people, good people. That's your belief, and that's your belief of what you think Amen is. You understand? You think Amen, where they taught you God is all good. God is, God deals with good people, not bad people. God deals with all kinds of people to utilize his purpose. You understand? God don't deal with, God is beyond good and evil. That's the perception of man and woman. You believe in good and evil. God deals with necessity. God is beyond both of those things. So if he used the white man to keep order on the planet because the black man refused to, he fell out of reception. He used the white man to keep order on the planet. Then anything that befalls you, you understand? Anything that befalls you for not being where you're supposed to be, that's on you. It's like when you tell your child, don't be over here with the gangbangers, or stay home, or stay where you're supposed to stay where you belong. And your child wanders off and goes someplace else, and they get shot or shot down or beat up or whatever. It's their fault for leaving. Same way with the black man and black woman when y'all stepped out of power. When you stepped down and you mixed your seed with these people. When you allowed these people into your kingdoms and in your societies, in your ancient world, you allowed them into power to mix their seed with you. That's what you did. You stepped off of your throne. You accepted their philosophies. You accepted their beliefs. You still do it. You still want to read their metaphysics books, their Scientology books. You still want to follow the beast. You still want to do it. You still care about their secret societies. You still care. And they do it just so that you can get your attention, so you do care and follow these people. The whole thing was always to get your attention, and y'all give your attention to them all the time. You give your attention to the beast all the time. That's why he got your mind. That's why it said in the book of Revelation that you have the mark in your forehead. You want to sit up here and talk about you gods, but you still want to follow him. The black woman want to talk about she a goddess, but she want to be in the club and be a whore. She want to have this one and that one between her legs and talk about, respect me, I'm a goddess, but getting abortions, getting babies pulled all out of her stomach. Having loose sex with this one and that one, but she want to talk about she a goddess. Right? Really? In what world? Right? She want to follow the image of the morality or the falling or the degenerate morality of this society. But then she want to talk about she a goddess. Respect me, I'm a goddess. I'm a god. The black man, he want to tattoo himself up, walk around, held down his back, smoked up off weed, tattooed up and everything else, following mankind in society, but then he want to talk about he a god. That's not what God put forth for us to follow. God told us to follow logic. God told us to follow a biological structure and an order and a way of thinking to become gods. This was all instruction. This is all direction. God's communication with us is supposed to come off as direction and instruction to become gods in present day form. Not, we supposed to be in submission to God. No, we supposed to be in transmission with God, receiving directions and orders on how to become gods, how to become supreme beings. See, but what happens with that is, we want to sit up here and we don't want the responsibility of being gods. The black man wants to be God, but he don't want to take care of his family. Right? He don't want to build for his people. He just want to chase money, get money. Not saying money's not necessary, But like I said, the majority of our people just want to consume. That's it. We think we gods by how much money we got in our pocket, right? But how about the man who convinces you to give all that money in your pocket to him? That's God. Not you, because you got money in your pocket to spend. The man who convinces you to give all your money over to him for stupidity, aka the white man, he becomes your God. Does he convince you? He can convince a so-called God to empty his damn pockets out on nonsense for $200 pair of Jordans, breaking down a Foot Locker to get in to get a pair of Jordans, standing on line 4 or 5 in the damn morning to get a pair of Jordans, $250 to get a black man to buy a pair of True Religion jeans for $200, a pair of denim jeans. That's God. That's somebody here into God, because he able to just throw you just to get you all tricked up to follow whatever he put out. You understand that? It don't matter. It don't matter whether he made the money or not. We made money first. We put a gold standard in effect first in our ancient society. No, we made money first. And they followed it by making paper currency or paper notes. But it don't matter what the currency or the note is or the value of it. It's about the mindset of a people, right? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Somebody said a couple of days ago, they said, Newman charged $10 to get in his conferences or his receptions. He charged $10, right? And I said, the funny thing about that is black people don't value things that are going to mentally uplift them. Black people, if you can't wear it, if black people can't wear it, if they can't eat it, they can't smoke it, then it's of no value to them. That's the people who are disconnected from God, because God's people always want their minds fed with intelligence. I said intelligence, not information, but intelligence, logic. That denotes the sign of a people who are a God race, or people who have God in them. The people who are looking for information to consume books from the white man, or sitting up here just looking to put the next piece of material on their back, or eat something, or smoke something, or drink something, or watch some sports, or get entertained, those are people following behind men. Those people are not connected to God. The black man, he don't value nothing unless, or the black woman, they don't value nothing if it don't fit into those categories. If it ain't something materialistic, they don't value it. See, but the white man, you know what he'll do? He'll go and spend $300-400 to sit in a seminar, right? He'll spend $300-400 to sit in a seminar, bring his own pack of lunch and come sit in a seminar, right? Because he values intelligence. He values intelligence, not information. He values intelligence. That's why the Scientology people are so big, because they went seeking intelligence, and this man L. Ron Hubbard. Now that was intelligence for them. That's a level of intelligence for them. But now, since a lot of you black people, y'all follow the mindset of these people, you want to run behind them and adopt Scientology into your minds. Now you want to follow them because, like I said, you're not following God. God sends his own form of intelligence to his people to move them forward. Yeah? See that? How can you not follow God? You said you would go and definitely buy a bag of weed. Yeah. That's how you cannot follow God, by following man. That's how you cannot follow God. You understand? By following man, yeah. By tattooing yourself, yeah. Of course, it's gonna be by tattooing yourself up, by smoking weed, because that's not following God. That's following man. Man, God didn't tell you to smoke no weed. Man told you to smoke weed, right? Why would God give you something that's going to kill your brain cells? God didn't tell you to shoot heroin in your veins. Man told you to do that. You understand that? No, man told you to. Yeah, no, man told you. Yeah, exactly. But who told you how to? You didn't come here knowing how to smoke. You watched some man do it, so you followed it. See how the black man is? When it's something, when the intelligence of God starts to interfere with your lower things that you want to do, then all of a sudden, God didn't say I can't smoke weed. God told you not to abuse your body. That's a form of abuse on your body. You understand? That's a form of abuse on your body. Smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana, getting drunk, that's all a form of abuse on your body. You understand? The black man want to know why he sit around the hood being a zero. Me ever think it's because all that weed you smoking? The black man sitting here smoking weed all day talking about nothing. What the hell the black man is doing? Yeah, all that's words. God is all. God is not weed. God is not smoking weed and playing video games all day till your mind turns into a damn mushroom. Till your mind turns into a blob of nothing. You black men kill me with this nonsense. You talking about, oh, well, the weed is pure because God put it here and blah, 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 blah. No, God didn't put weed here for you to smoke. You were supposed to drink it as an herb. You weren't supposed to put it in no rolling paper and burn it. But that's the mentality of man. See? That's the mentality of man. See, that's the black man for you. You know? Yeah, it's okay. God told you to smoke marijuana. If God told you to smoke marijuana, how come you black men sitting around the goddamn hood all day doing nothing? Being zeros. But it's funny, you could trace all that to all you black men smoke weed in the hood. Majority of you smoke weed, and notice y'all ain't accomplishing a damn thing. But sitting around thinking about your next blunt for breakfast, a blunt for lunch, and a blunt for dinner. And the next shorty you going to lay up with, or the next pair of Jordans you going to get. That's not being God. You understand? That's following behind man. Or the next shorty you going to lay up with and get pregnant and not take care of your kids. Or the next tattoo you going to get. That's all God? All that's God? Or is that man? You understand that? That's the mentality of the black man. You understand that? That's the mentality of the black man. The black man sitting around here not doing a damn thing, but then want to swear he God. God is all. You understand? God is all what? God separates himself. You understand? God separates himself. You understand? He allows man to do what he does in that submental state. And God connects to those people mentally who are going to raise, the ones he chooses to raise up mentally. The majority of our people are not being chosen to be raised up mentally. That's why in their mind it's okay to smoke weed. You understand? That's an insult to God to say that. It's okay to smoke weed. It's okay to stand around, be a zero, and have that mentality. That's why it's okay. That's the mentality. You really think that God put our people here to sit around, smoke weed in the hood, and sit around and be nothing in the world? You really think that's what God put our people here for? You understand? I don't want to hear the black man mention nothing about God if he's not doing nothing. His works are not that of God. Because when you say that, exactly, disconnected, you a bunch of dead gods. You understand? And let me ask you something. You saying well, the majority. Well, let me say this. Let me say this, Mr. Parker. You can call in and ask me the question. Let me say something. You black men in the hood are doing that. They're not doing a damn thing. I can generalize because I look at y'all out in the world. Like I said, it's only a small group of people out here that's really doing something. You understand? A small group that's trying to raise the mentality of our people. I live in the hood amongst you. I live in the hood, what you call the hood amongst y'all, and I see the hopelessness on y'all face. I see the emptiness on the black man's face. And it's not just in New York City. It's in Chicago. It's in New Jersey. It's in all over D.C. You black men ain't doing a damn thing out here. Y'all disconnected from God. Y'all ain't doing nothing out here but talking about God and talking about y'all are God, but that's starting to wear thin. That's a joke. You understand? That's a joke. It's about mental supremacy. Yeah, and I judged myself a long time ago. You understand? I judged myself. But like I said, that's the mentality of our people. You understand? Everybody got their own thing. Like I said, everybody's thing is not God. So stop trying to and that's cool. If everybody's thing is not trying to evolve or advance into God, that's fine. That's what we hear about. That's what the conversation is about. About those who are trying to advance and evolve into gods. So if those of you who are listening to this program want to know, I told you practically. Stop doing the old things you're doing. God deals with disciplined people. God don't deal with weed heads. God don't deal with weed heads, wine heads, coke heads, dope heads. hoes. You understand? Niggas who don't pay their child support, God ain't dealing with you. You are beneath God. You understand that? Raw and uncut. God deals with responsible people. You understand? People who uphold the law, people that keep the line, men who are strong enough and women who are strong enough to be disciplined and not be a part of those things. And I'm not talking about you people in the church. Because y'all are part that you can come in here and y'all can come in the church and y'all can sit up in there and y'all can follow all that. You can smoke weed in the church. You understand? You could be a homosexual and a lesbian and be in the church. And tell me, I'm saved. Some nigga with sugar all up his tank talking about, I'm saved. You understand? I'm saved. You understand that? That's okay. That's okay today. Don't judge. God judges. So if you saying you God, then you're supposed to judge. If you saying you from God, not of God, but if you saying you from God, you're supposed to judge. You're supposed to judge who you don't want around your children, who you don't want to be with. You black women supposed to be making better judgments about who the man you're going to lay with and have babies with and let up inside your body. You understand? Maybe if you was being judges or better judges, you wouldn't have a bunch of bastard babies running around here don't know who their damn father is. If you black women was being gods. Practice the goddess thing that you claim you are and start being a goddess. You black men, y'all would be gods or be close to becoming gods if you took some damn responsibility. Where the black woman ain't got to run your ass to court and try to make you pay child support. Got to go to the white man to force you niggas to take care of your children. You understand that? Don't tell me nothing about God. You black men can't tell me a damn thing. You understand? I'm tired of you black men talking about, well, God ain't dealing with, God, but God. Don't tell me nothing about God. You black men don't know about God. We standing up taking responsibility, and we putting this truth out here. This truth of intellect to raise our people up, to clean our people up. Those are people who not doing that. We're not fooling with you. We're not dealing with y'all. God is not dealing with the majority of our people because the majority of our people want to follow the white man. You understand? The majority of our people just raw and uncut. The majority of our people want to follow the white man in his way. You understand? Which is that sub-mental way. And not even the high up elite white men, but the sub-mental ones, the ones who put this nonsense out here in the world. But then they want to talk about God. God's people are disciplined people. In order for you to become gods on earth, you have to be disciplined people. You can't abuse your body. You can't allow men in your body that will abuse your body. You understand that? That's how you start becoming God, by having some damn discipline. Strengthening yourself, structuring yourself. You understand that? Judgment. That's what it's about. Strong judgment. God is dealing with effective people. We're supposed to be following the lead of God. We're supposed to be following God's example as leaders. You understand that? True followers of God are leaders. Leaders join movements. The state of Mentel is full of leaders, not followers. Because the people that come here, they hear the intelligence of God. They hear it coming through a man. And it resonates in their mind. So they are of the elect. I'm going to play an old one from Rakim and Eric B. Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. Throwback, y'all. We'll be right back. Our people sit up here and say, that they not following nobody. You following the white man. Knock it off. All right? You following the white man in society. When you roll your blunt, when you get up out of your bed in the projects, when you go and you do what you do and you smoke your weed and you go and listen to rap music and you jump in your car or whatever you doing in society, you following the white man. When you black women go and getting your hair done or smoking your weed or talking about your kids or the system or you going to get your check or whatever you going to do, you following the white man. All right? So don't tell me you're not following nobody. You following a system that he made up for you to follow. So I don't want to hear this crap about, oh, we not following nobody. I'm my own leader. You niggas ain't leading nothing, man. All y'all doing is running your mouth. I'm not attacking nobody. I'm just saying it as it is, raw and uncut. Y'all not leading nobody. The black man, the black women need to stop with this ego trip. We only want to do that when it comes to each other. We want to start talking about, oh, I ain't following nobody. I'm my own leader. Leader of what? What is the black man and black woman leading us to? Since you want to talk about you your own leader, where are you leading to? You understand that? You either following God or you following the white man. You either following in your line of evolution of becoming God or you following the white man. And if you sitting up here talking about you smoking weed because God ordained weed, then that tell me what God you following. You following the white man. You understand? He put the weed here for you to smoke. He bring it in here. He let you get that. Like I said, he sell you the roll-ups in the store. You understand? The blunts that you niggas tear open so you can put the weed in it. He sell it to you. You understand? So obviously he wants you to smoke it. And you do. You obey. Just like them hats you wear now. Obey. You obey your lower nature. You obey the submental ways of the beast. You obey. Your babies are following the beast now. You understand? You know? I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. The sister who asked, or the brother who asked, I'm sorry. Your babies are following the beast. Why? Because your baby's following you. Either you following the intelligence of God or you following the mindset of the beast. That's what it is. Ain't no in between. There is no you between that. You understand? Our people always want to get egotistical and talk about what they doing. You understand? And let me tell you something. Mr. Parker. I find flaws in myself. I found flaws. I'm not perfect, not at all. I'm not perfect. I'm the first one to tell you I'm not perfect, or whatever perfect is, because there's really no such thing as perfection. But there's a difference between trying to call yourself perfect and just being on a submental level and trying to act like you're not on a submental level. See, years ago, I admitted to myself that I was on a submental level. I was in the street selling drugs. I did all that stuff. You understand? In the hood, doing all that stuff. And I didn't say the white man made me do it. I chose to do that. Just like I chose to stop doing that. I chose to raise the bar mentally. I didn't sit up here and make no excuse, oh, well, I'm selling drugs because the white man ain't leave me no other way, or I'm smoking weed because it's pure from the earth, from God. Like y'all do. I don't do that. I don't play those games. I own my submental ways of thinking. You understand? I own my submental ways of thinking. I'm not like the black man who sits up here and got every excuse in the book why he's smoking weed, why he ain't paying child support, why everything. It always usually leads back to the white man. So that already proves you following the white man. If all your answers to everything is why you doing stuff, it's always the submental, the low nature stuff. Oh, God says okay, everything's of God and all this nonsense. You understand? That's the sign of a man who ain't a person who's not man enough to own up to his own faults and things. I own mine. You understand? I own mine. Everything I do, I own mine. Like a real man. You know? Right? No, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I answer to a higher authority. I'm reading in the chat room. I answer to a higher authority. You understand? I answer to a higher authority. That's why I'm not out here smoking weed. That's why I'm not out here smoking cigarettes. That's not why I'm not out here following religion. I'm not out here getting drunk. You understand? I'm not out here wearing tight-ass pants or pants hanging off my ass like you black men in the hood. I'm not standing around the hood being a zero. I don't got 50 baby mothers begging me for child support. You understand? See, that's the system that y'all follow. See, because contrary to what you think, that's the mindset the white man puts out for you to follow. He always puts it out. He makes it easy. He gives you, like the brother said, he gives you all the tools to be a zero, a sub-mental, and y'all take it. Y'all take the bait all the time. So call in. Call in. I'm not going to monopolize it. Call in. Those of you who got a comment, I'll take your phone call. Call in and press 1. Those of you, like I said, if you feel I'm a hypocrite, if you feel I'm being judgmental, you call in. You call in. You speak your piece. I'm not going to cut your head. I'm not going to bite your head. I'll listen to you. I will listen to you. You understand? See, because the black man, like I said, you know how our people do. Everything is all good when you talk about raising the mind, but then when you try to tell a black man, well, if you want to raise the mind and become actual gods, you got to become disciplined and stop doing these submental things like getting high, getting drunk. Stop doing all these things. You got to stop doing certain things. You got to cut things out to be better people. That's because the black man love being high. He like being drunk. He like busting his gun in the hood, or he just like sitting around being a zero. Of course, the black man he don't want to hear that. So then he'll justify or try to lie and say, well, everything's of God, so God is okay with that. No, God is not okay with our people being zeros. And how God shows his disfavor with our people being zeros, that's why he allowed people to get shot down in the hood. That's why he allowed the white man to abuse you niggas in the hood. He allows it because he's not okay with it. You understand? Obviously, he's not okay with it. That's why he allows the things to happen to you, to happen to our people. You understand that? God puts in protection those people who are going to do the will of God because they serve a purpose. But you people who are not doing the will of God, the people who are not representing God here on earth, becoming gods, going through that evolutionary state to become gods, God is not dealing with you. So whatever happened to the white man do to you, God don't give a damn about you, obviously. You understand? Well, like I said, call in, Mr. Parker. Call in. You keep telling me about my limited way of thinking. What are you doing as a person who's unlimited in your thinking about God? What are you doing, black man? Since you saying that my way of thinking is limited, what are you doing in your unlimited thoughts? You sitting around smoking weed. What are you doing? Call in and tell me, what are you doing? Matter of fact, I'm not even going to make no judgments about you. I don't know you. You call in and you tell me what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm raising the intelligence of God and my people. What are you doing? Call in. Call in, tell me what you're doing. Since you're saying I'm limiting God and whatnot, here's a person who probably ain't doing nothing for the evolution of the people, but then all of a sudden, I'm limited in my intelligence when it comes to God. Yeah, exactly. He won't call in. He won't call in. Just talk. Just talk. I'm out here putting in work. Don't talk to me about no God. Like I said, you black men can't tell me a damn thing about God or being God. I'm out here. I'm out here putting the S on my chest every day to raise my people's intelligence. I don't want to hear nothing from you black men who standing in the damn hood smoking weed telling me about God. No, call in and press 1. You have to press 1. Call in and press 1. The call will come in. Call in and press 1. And I'll take your phone call. I'll listen to you. Hold on. I always open up these phone lines to everybody. Call in and press 1. Because like I said, unless the black man standing up, right, and ready to live this, or the black woman stand up and ready to live this, I don't want to hear nothing about, our neighborhood is messed up, we care about the babies. You don't care about the babies because you ain't willing to change how you living. Don't tell me you want to raise the babies to be gods or the next generation of gods if you sitting up here being a nigga. If you sitting up here smoking weed in front of them or having all these your babies watching all kind of men coming in and out of your house and whatnot, and you doing all these negative things in the hood, don't tell me what you care about the babies. You don't care about the babies. You ain't doing nothing but sending another generation of babies to the beast. I'm gonna take a call. 757. 757 on the air.
Yeah, man. Just had this real to add on real quick. I think that our people have a problem with diversity. I think, looking at things is that people might be able to stay connected if they were able to deal with, God one-on-one. But I think because the world offers a lot of diversity, I think it's like an overwhelming effect on our people specifically. Because it's like if you was able to stay focused on an agenda to get it accomplished, then I think we would be better off as a whole. But I think because we're in a society or in a mind state where people are dealing with too much diversity, they can't mentally stay connected to God. Like it's just I mean, I see it all the time. We always tell people to stay focused and pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And I started asking myself, why we always got to tell people to pay attention? That means that, and something means that there's something where people can't deal with diversity. Like if it's more than 2 or 3 things, our people, no matter melanin or whatever, basketball, whatever it is, they think they have talents. It's too much because our people is the only ones to take on the weave and the drugs and the cars and the rims and overdo everything. So it actually has to mean that you're dysfunctional when you're not able to take one step at a time or just stay connected or focused to one thing. But I just want to add that on and not fall back on that, bro.
Okay, well, let me say something about as far as all the so-called choices. All the choices that in the world are not for us to make. The only choice that was really supposed to be for us and that's still supposed to be for us is Amen. God, Amen, the true and living God, not Allah. Allah is for the Arabs, right? Jesus is for the white man, right? And Jehovah, that's the white man, his God. Buddha is for the Chinese, that's their gods. Amen is supposed to be for us. And that is our guide into the future and our future intelligence. That's what we're supposed to be in connection with moving forward. Not in Egyptology, but in real time and mental, like receiving, reception, or transmission from God. That's what we're supposed to be dealing with. That's it. All that other stuff, all the Moorish, all that stuff that was from the last millennium, that's supposed to be dead, man. That's
Let
dead.
me give you my example. You know what I'm saying? I have a daughter. All right. As long as when I'm focused on my daughter, and I'm focusing on my youth and raising her intelligence, it's easy for me to get a goal accomplished. I ain't even talking about none of the religion. Let's cut all that out. I'm just saying as far as able to accomplish something and actually, have it mean something. I don't think that like I said, all the religion, I'm not speaking on all that. You know what I'm saying? Those are sub things, and those are extra attachments that people can't deal with. Even if they wanted to deal with it, they can't deal with it because it's too much diversity. You know what I'm saying? That causes them a short circuit. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at if you deal with a child or a mate and you just focus on that person and and they was doing that, but we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's cheaters, and like you were saying earlier, that's why it's too many baby daddies and too many baby mamas. Is because some type of way people get lost. You know what I'm saying? On what they're supposed to be focusing on, and if it was the direction of Amen's will to deal with their child or a certain agenda at a time, I think that we would actually come out with a success. But we ain't gonna take that route.
Because I'm getting short on time. But let me say this.
All right, no doubt. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Move me out, bro.
All right. Yeah. But let me say this. That's what we're doing in the state of Mentel. Our focus is on the reception of Amen as a collective and building a community and a state. That's what our focus is on. Our focus is not on the white man. Our focus is not on Allah. It's not on Jehovah, Jesus, metaphysics, the white man. We're not black power. All that garbage is out the window from the last millennium. We're not on that. So all you Negroes who in that, stay in your lane, man. Stay in your Islam and all this other. That's what you want to do. That's fine. And as far as me charging people, great Muslim, to get in, I knew I was waiting on you to show up, you demon. But as far as me charging people, I would never take your money. Even though you inbox me and ask me, tell me that we should be hustling people and taking money, I don't want any money from you. I would never take your money. You couldn't give me no money to join the state of Mentel. You couldn't give me any money. I don't want anything from you. So I'm going to dispel that notion right now. We talking about I'm trying to hustle people and take their money. Trust me, if I really wanted to, I could. I'm a pretty good speaker in public. I damn sure could take people money if I really was on it like that. You understand? I could. I could hustle people just as good as anybody else if I really wanted to. I used to be a hustler. So I know how to hustle people. Trust me. But because I choose not to, I choose to tell my people the truth. That's why we got to struggle through, and we out here putting in the work and raising up, and our work is being done right now. Our work is starting to bear fruit. The seeds we put in. So let me go ahead and answer these questions, and close out from these people like that. How can black people really begin to become gods on earth? Simply by becoming disciplined people. Simply by cutting off all the old things from the past. All the old teachings, all the old ways of thinking from the last millennium. All right? Opening your mind up to receive this new intelligence from Amen, knowing that something new has truly come from beyond the sun, and that knowledge is intellect. Those of our people are not going to get it. The majority is not going to get it. Right? By disciplining yourself, cutting yourself off from the old ways and becoming new. There was a reason why back in ancient Egypt, our people, when they were trying to get in tune or connect with God, there was a reason why they shaved their heads and they put on white robes and things like that, and they purified themselves, cleaned off all the hair on their body, because it was a way of purifying themselves and starting over again, getting rid of the old and starting with the new. We must do that again. We must be reborn again so that we can receive God's intelligence as a new people. This knowledge of intellect, which I'm sharing with my people. I was reborn too in a new mindset. Right? What is holding the black woman back from becoming God? The black man and the white man and all kind of men. They're holding you back from becoming God. You understand? And you holding yourself back from becoming God. Black woman first and foremost. Because a lot of y'all fall under the mindset and follow man instead of doing what you know is right, because you're usually the first people that know what's right, but you choose to follow man and follow the ways of man. I don't care if it's the white man, the black man, things like that. You don't, or the white woman. You're not following the God-given intelligence that y'all supposed to be receiving now to become gods. Black woman, to take you from black women to bright women, true women of God. You understand? Mental beings, women after the order of Amen. That's who you're supposed to be becoming. Not giving into this whorish mentality that's popular in this subculture called America or American pop culture. Not giving into this whorish mentality. The Nicki Minaj, the Beyonce images and things like that. That's what's keeping you back from becoming gods, black women, or this conscious crap. Right? All black people really born gods by nature? No. Some of our people are straight up demons, right? And they become more demented as time goes on, and they always expose themselves. Many of our people were made from bad seeds. Many of you women who started off good, you chose bad seeds, and you had babies with these bad seeds, or these people who were demented. You got with men because they were cute, or you brothers got with sisters because she had a fat behind and she looked good, and her seed was poisoned. They were demented. You didn't try to find people who were trying to clean themselves up, who wanted to get into that God state or get into that God mind state. See, because the whole point of being God is not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing. It actually requires you refraining from things that are on a sub-mental level, indulging in things that are intoxicating you, refraining from those things in order to become God. Same way you have to clean your system out to become healthy, you have to clean your mind out to be a receiver of God's intelligence, because God's intelligence won't be able to share the same space with your sub-mental ways, your ways of the beast. But a lot of our people don't want to let them go, so they'll fight for them and claim, oh, it's all of God. You sound like them Negroes who say, oh, you can eat pork because pork came from God. Everything on the earth is not for us to eat, just like everything on the earth is not for us to follow. Wake the hell up, black man and black woman. Does a supreme God want a chosen few to evolve into gods? Yeah, he does. By sending reception, raising the reception high for us to evolve into gods. Yes, by raising the reception. And some of us are going to raise ourselves to that reception to receive it, and some of us are going to lower it beneath that reception. You understand? You understand? Certain people are going to do that. Why is this happening now? Because we're about to go through an evolution right now as a new people. We're about to go through an evolution as a new people, the same way man is regenerated to go through an evolution. You understand? We are going through an evolution. You understand? And we're supposed to be going through a mental evolution as a people. God is raising the intelligence of a chosen few. And those of you who want to raise that intelligence level, it's time to come together collectively within one state as one new people, away from these old things that have done nothing for us. And that's it. Join us. I might do a special broadcast tomorrow, but I'm not sure yet. Depends on how I feel. All right? Join us on Sunday. Those of you who are in the New York City area, come on out to the State of Mentel's reception, the True God Revealed Part 2. We're going to be bringing this reception in strong and close to home, people. So come on out. We're inviting our people to come out. This is for the evolution. The evolution of our people. All right? So once again, I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This has been State of Mentel Radio. Might do a special broadcast tomorrow if I'm choosing, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll post it if I choose to. Good night. State of Mentel Radio.
Let go, come soon, y'all.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, and then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all